Yeah, I'm Weston. I'm president of Violet Crown this year, and I've been with Violet Crown about 10 years, maybe a little bit more. It's getting hard to count exactly. Yeah, and I started the club just finding the ride, going through town, and I saw the big group leaving, and was invited by Jay Bond, who's still riding with us today, to jump on the ride, and I did, and so yeah, I've been riding with Violet Crown ever since.
My name is David, and I came to Violet Crown about a year after I left college or so. I was looking for a team to replace my experience in collegiate cycling, and one of my friends was involved with the Violet Crown women's team, invited me out on some of the Tuesday, Thursday morning rides. Went to those and had a lot of fun, and now I've been with the club for 4 years in that range, and I'm very privileged to serve as the president-elect of Violet Crown right now and the sports director for our men's team.
My name is Christian House. I'm a former pro of 20 years who started my career out here at Violet Crown. I came to the club because they were offering a junior program, which had a coach and a number of other juniors, which were great to ride with guys my age. I then left, went to Europe, and now have retired and come back, and am now the current coach of the junior program, which is kind of a full circle for me. And yeah, we're here to talk about the junior program.
So first off, guys, if you're a new junior who's just getting into cycling, what do you need to get started?
Well, I mean, I really didn't even start out with anything but a bike and a helmet, and I really didn't have any inkling about cycling as a sport. I kind of used it as motor transportation to get from home to other sports. So, you need very little just to get into cycling in general.
Yeah, I think there's probably a misconception that you need a fancy bike, and you don't necessarily need a fancy bike. Like, especially in the beginning, like it's all about you and improving yourself. So, like you said, it's a pretty low bar to get in. You want to have a bike that's in good working order if you're going on a group ride, because you don't want to have your bike break down in the middle of the group ride. Some new tires on it maybe, but yeah.
So tell me a little bit about that transition then from being somebody that maybe is a casual cyclist, commuting to other things, or just coming out on your beater bike, to getting into sports cycling and racing your bicycle, whether that's cyclocross or on the road.
My transition was pretty simple. I kind of was riding down Shoal Creek, ran into some other racers, and they kind of gave me a couple ideas on clubs, and next thing you know, I signed up to USA Cycling, got a license, and then showed up at my first Wells Branch Criterium, which is a race that no longer happens. But and I had no idea what I was doing, and everyone was super supportive of a young kid getting involved, and it was kind of a little embarrassing transition of not having any clue about how to race, but we figured it out pretty quickly.
Yeah, I think one of the unique things about cycling is that there aren't a lot of barriers between people who race and people who ride casually. Like you go on a group ride, it's a big mix of abilities and talent, and you'll find out when you go out on that group ride that hey, somebody's actually a racer on this ride, and there are sprints, and I'm doing pretty well in the sprints, and then you start to think, well, maybe I should give it a shot, and end up getting your license and going out and trying it out and seeing how that feels. But
yeah, I jump in and say that I think the biggest thing for me and for a lot of people is that community that you find in cycling, those people around you that say, hey, look, you're doing pretty well, you should try this race. And then racing can be a little bit opaque when you're looking in from the outside, so having that community around you like Violet Crown provides really helps you figure those things out and really pushes you to go and try these first few races.
And that's one of the great things about this club as well, is it is kind of all-inclusive, there's no kind of, you can't join this because you're not at this level or anything like that. It's like this could be your first group ride, and the club will bring you in, and you'll have people giving you advice and giving you, examples of what to do, maybe what not to do, but they won't ostracize you. They'll bring you in and keep you in the club. That's one of the things I really love about it.
Yeah, there's definitely something to keep learning at every step of your journey in the sport of cycling. So I think one of the things that a lot of people struggle with when they're first getting into doing these longer rides is that they find after about an hour or 2 hours, they really start to hit the wall. They start to feel really tired. And a big part of that as experienced cyclists, we stop thinking about quite so much, but is nutrition. So, what do you need to eat on a bike ride to make you feel good at, hour 3 of like a weekend ride or something like that?
I think without getting too technical with it, the nutrition side of it starts before you even get on the bike. So you really want to be thinking, if you know you're going to be doing a long ride, think about it the night before, have a decent meal. You don't have to overdo it, but something that's kind of heavier on carbs, especially if it's just going to be a long, steady ride. And in the morning, have a decent breakfast, and from that point on, once you get on the bike, you just want to kind of keep eating while you're on the bike all the way through the ride. And you can do that. You don't have to buy expensive energy bars. You can just go to HEB and buy some granola bars for pack of 12 of them. It's not
Fig Newtons.
Fig Newtons, yeah. You can make your own little sandwiches as well and wrap them up in foil if you want to. So it doesn't have to be very complicated in terms of avoiding that, the bonk as you call it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that for a new rider, probably the biggest piece of information I would like to share is like always have backup food, like more than you think. Like there's always a packet of like nut butter or something like that I keep in my pocket that's break in case of emergencies, because sometimes you miscalculate even after years of experience. You go out on a ride and at a certain point you'll realize that you needed more calories or you're cutting it too close, and then you're just going to have that.
Yeah, the days that I have discovered that emergency gels in the back pocket are really lifesavers are always, they're days that I'm glad someone gave me that advice.
The other thing to always remember is about hydration, especially here in Texas in the summertime. You can easily go through 4 or 5 bottles over the course of a 2 or 3 hour bike ride. So just remember to stay hydrated and keep something in your bottle other than water. So even if it's, I used to mix up half of a sports drink with water, or even a quarter of a sports drink to filling up a bottle. Just to allow something to absorb into your system. Otherwise,
salty snacks.
Yeah, exactly.
And the important thing there is just try to drink to thirst all the time. So if you're thirsty, you're not doing well. If your stomach is bloated because you've been chugging water, that's also not so good. Everything in moderation. So let's wrap this up a little bit here, guys. If I'm a new rider and I want to get involved with Violet Crown or Violet Crown's junior programs, where do I find more information on this?
You can go to violetcrown.org. We've got a good website there that lists all our rides and what it's like to join the club. You're welcome to come out on rides. Even if you're not part of the club, you don't need to be a club member. Just come out and check us out. We do monthly meetings once a month, usually first Monday of the month at Mellow Johnny's. Sometimes it changes, but
and if I'm a new rider that's thinking about getting a little bit more serious about my cycling as a junior, what are sort of the things that you're looking for before you start saying that as like a 14, 15-year-old you want to look for before you start training or coaching them at a higher level?
Really, you just want to get involved in the club and involved in the sport, in general. Don't lose the passion for it. Get out and enjoy it. Don't worry about what's ahead and just enjoy what's right there in front of you. All that will come later. And if you do kind of enjoy it that much and really want to push yourself, then we can help you do that to maximize your performance.